YouTube, morning. It's the morning of the 24th of the 5th, and today I'm going to give you a brief of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I thought I would start immediately by saying, just to get it out of the way, I think the movie is held together completely by its score. Without its score, I don't think it would have stood as well for me when I watched it the other night. I think it's like 2 years old now, isn't it? Sure, it's about 2 years old. 11, 12, 13. No, so it's like 3 summers ago it was out initially, wasn't it? 3 summers ago. Held completely together by its score, the quality of its score, literally from A to Z. Just like the Amazing Spider-Man movie, I thought, when I was watching that movie, immediately thought, in regards to its score, holding it together, I immediately thought of the Amazing Spider-Man. Immediately, without a question of doubt, I think James Horner's score for this is beautiful done. I think it's very similar to Signs, but with more energy, high energy version of the score to Signs. I think basically the score for this movie. Very similar melody, very similar melodic tropes, which one hears in Signs, score for the movie Signs, here in this score, the Spidey score, but it's more upbeat, if you will. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, held completely by its score. Reasons I will pursue now, and my other views on the movie also will follow. But I want to get this out of the way straight away because I think it's it was the immediate thought to me in regards to the movie. The score is just beautiful. I listened to it the first half of the movie. I watched and listened to it through a 6.1 system. I watched the DVD. I was watching the DVD for the first half. Beautiful, fantastic. It really stood out, the score initially. Even when I was watching it on a 6.1 with a small TV, it just really stood out. And it more noticeably than the visuals. And then later in the day, that's how I watched it. I put the Blu-ray in when I went through to my living room later on in the day. It was like later at night. I put the Blu-ray in and continued to watch the movie till the end on the Blu-ray through a 5.1 system, and it sounded great. It was completely enveloping, melodic, enveloping. You get me? It was audiolically stunning. It really stood out. It made the movie like one would hear on a Saturday movie, on a Saturday morning movie. If you were to watch a movie on a Saturday morning, when you would throw the telly on, like a very, very contemporary, very young type movie. It's very young. I'll move on now from the audio. I found this Rise of the Planet of the Apes I got online for about £4, £5, and it was listed as only the Blu-ray. Just in regards to this actual copy I have here, it was only listed as having the Blu-ray. It was on eBay. It was one of those eBay things, eBay finds, where when you finally get it to the post, you're actually more made up than you are displeased, because sometimes you get stuff which is worse than what's listed yet. Came with a slip cover. Get this, slip cover. And came with the DVD and digital copy. Okay, digital copies expired, but it came the DVD as well as the Blu-ray. The DVD is still on my TV in the bedroom. I mentioned that I watched the first half of the movie on DVD. It's still in my machine in the bedroom. But get that for something just over £4. That included delivery, which was only listed as just having a Blu-ray. Yeah. Sometimes you win, eh? But back to the movie. I thought this movie at the time got loads of praise, and that's why I visited it. I saw it online, and as I say, when I'm like that with movies, I want to check out later, way after the release, just for curiosity's sake. I just tend to look on eBay for the Blu-ray alone, because you tend to do that. You find that on eBay, just simply the Blu-ray versions of the movies for a few quid, and this one popped up, and I thought, yeah, I clicked on it and I bought it. The movie itself, to me, I remember the time it was released, its generality was that it was better than anticipated. The movie itself better than anticipated, and I've held that dear, and I've always wanted to watch this because of that. You know, like the way Cowboys and Aliens, released at a similar time, got heavily crapped on after its release, and it's not held in such esteem, which I also want to watch for curiosity's sake. This got the opposite, I found. Rise of Planet Apes got the opposite. It got held in greater, like I say. Now, in regards to the movie's visual, yeah, the CG, I thought, when it came to Caesar, didn't hold up so well. But when you got all the apes together, when you got big panning shots of the apes, of all of them, and when they were in the ape cage as such, yeah, get me? Toward the end of the film, when Caesar was Caesar's handler, give Caesar up, basically. The bed, when they were all enclosed in the ape cage and when they were all interacting, I found the CG held up fine. But when it came to just Caesar on his own, for some reason, I didn't think the CG held up so well. It looked weak, it looked poor, it looked obviously CG. Now, I was going to go on to say then, because I'm used to all the Planet of the Apes franchise so far being real, makeup, solid effects, we got solid actual physicality in regards to its makeup, but it's not. I'm going to stop myself from saying that because of what I've just said. When you got the large panning shots of all the apes together, CG looked fine to me, but I just felt it took me out of it. The actual CG of Caesar, when you see it on his own, it just looked, hate the word cheap, and I've been using it loads. I'm trying to introduce inexpensive, the phrase inexpensive, and when Caesar was on his own, it just took me right out the movie. It made the movie at those times look inexpensive. Completely took me out of the movie. Other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed this. In itself, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have a large plasma, 50-inch, watching on a large 50-inch plasma. It was great. It was like being in the cinema. It really was. Had the lights off. Just a big screen of mine. This lovely enveloping audio, which I was mentioning earlier, in my favourite chair, in the centre of it all, and it was just fabulous. It was just theatrical. It was great. Okay, it's great, wonderful. I can highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. If you can get the DVD and video version, both great, because the audio on the DVD is wonderful too. Great it is, and it looks great on a small TV. It holds great. The DVD holds it together. It doesn't look any worse on a DVD. Get me? Like I thought, John Carter from Mars did not hold up so well on the DVD. This does, even regarding what I've just said about the CG. You'll know what I mean if you watch Blu-ray and DVDs. You'll know what I mean by saying that. When I'm saying that, when I say it, you'll know what I mean by that. Now, regards to its sequel, what's it called? The sequel, Rise of the Planet of the Apes sequel? Is it Dawn of the Apes or something? Now, I had to try and detach myself from that when I was watching this, but I did think, right? Let me just click this in. I did think, and I was thinking, as the movie was rolling on, how is it going to go? My curiosity for how it was going to lead into the sequel was like bubbling. I was like intrigued. Where is this movie? How is this movie going to end? Because I've seen the trailer to the sequel, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Its sequel is called. And said trailer looked and does look very serious. It does look, and it looked serious. The trailer to this does. I'm still trying to find the sequel. I was right, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This had a very young feel, almost Harry Potterish, early Harry Potterish feel to it. That actually, James Franco is in it, and that I did not say it because of that. It has a very young feel to it. The sequel, the trailer to the sequel, Dawn of the Planet, has a very serious look to it. That's what I thought as this ended. I was thinking, how are they going to cross? How on earth are they going to cross over? It had a very Saturday morning movie feel to it, even right up to the end, when James Franco's character gives permission to Caesar and his crew to climb the forest, and the scene where the panning shot swirls around them all, climbing the trees and overlooking San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, and that's how, and the audio sort of takes you right up, envelopes you up as well, and that's how it ends. Pans out, it ends. It has a, and then you get the after credit scene, the blister scene, where the pilot is sneezing the virus everywhere. Had a very, very, very Saturday morning movie feel. How on earth it's going to lead into this very serious looking sequel, I don't know. That was my thought after watching this. I don't know how on earth they're going to blend the two. 211's Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I can recommend it as a movie in itself. Highly recommend it. If I haven't knocked any aspect of it, it means to presume a thumbs up. Get me? Because I've gone on long enough. Right, see you next time.